Natasha.
Debbie.
Show.
The show.
Welcome to it. Just two patriotic girls.
Learning about the world.
So please, don't take us the wrong way.
Hi, welcome to the Natasha and Debbie show on Fabulous Friday with guest stars.
And you know why I'm feeling very intimidated today?
Why would that be?
I got two of you.
That's right, double trouble over here.
It's the sisters.
I'm back.
It's Lisa, Debbie's sister.
Right, Lisa had done some episodes in the past when I wasn't able to make it, and yay, today I get to join my sister in a video.
Hence why they're attached at the hip, literally right
That's
there.
right, we are. And for those of you that are concerned that I'm in the back here, I'm still the shortest one in the room. So I'm in the back. Plus, I don't like dealing with all those buttons.
Are you shorter than her?
She fits.
I am.
She
Oh,
is
that's right.
shorter
Yeah,
than
I am
me.
shorter.
One of the
Always
few
been.
people that actually makes me feel tall.
Hey, thanks for being back, seriously.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to
Of
be here.
course. Of course.
I hear you guys have been having all these guests and you saved the best for last.
Of course.
I ain't saying nothing. But no, I hope you guys have been enjoying our Fabulous Friday guest star. I saw it from Debbie. She said it earlier.
Fabulous Fridays.
I credited you.
Thank you.
So before we get into today's episode, if you wouldn't mind, there's this little button. It's got this thing. And if you click it, it does this magical thing where it just says, hey, I like you guys. I like the time and effort you put into your show. And it's called like button.
That's right. And also consider subscribing.
It's free.
But check out some of our content. Make sure you want to be a part of our family before you hit that button.
Mm-hmm. So Lisa, do you even know what we're doing? Because I know I did not tell you.
Idea.
You all know because you see the title. We didn't even tell her what video we're doing. So today's video is a newfound friend of mine at Magenta Otter Travels. And that's Dara. And she did a video that you guys may not know this. Actually, I think you might know this.
Maybe.
She put this together for over 2 years.
Wow.
So she's in England and then she's also in the US. But this is British versus
American bathrooms.
Hey, cool.
I had to find a word to read.
there are no two people better to do this video with. If you
I love talking about bathrooms and
toilets and
all things to go
And I
with
need
it.
to remodel my bathroom in my 100-and-some-year-old house.
see, there are old houses in America.
Yeah,
True
it was
story.
built in the late 1880s.
That's still young to them.
I know. Things are older over there, but
Well, maybe we can get some tips on what's different over there, and maybe that'll be something.
some
you need to
design
implement
ideas.
here.
Right.
Oh, this is going to be a lot
We shall
different.
see.
So she said there's 21 differences, I think is what she told me. We actually chat on the phone and we're friends and she's awesome. So we're going to have a link to her video, original video, in the comments, the description of this video. As Natasha and Debbie show fans, I ask you, please go watch her video, like it, and please subscribe to her channel. She puts a lot of time
Yes, she does.
and effort into her videos, and she's awesome. So she's just a great person to talk to. But yeah, please go show her some love. So let's learn. We know a couple little things, but I was told this is going to rock our worlds.
Well, I can't wait to see it.
Let's do it.
I am not exaggerating when I say that I have been writing this video and collecting photos and video clips for it for 2 full
She really did.
years. I didn't want to just sit here in my living room in Texas and give you a bunch of random opinions about this topic. I wanted to show you what I'm talking about.
I'm so
And
excited.
share
about
with you
this.
these opinions that I've spent 30 years accumulating. So without
Wow.
further ado, let's get into a discussion of British bathrooms.
Do it.
I'm formatting today's comments into 3 sections, reminiscent of a certain Clint Eastwood movie. I'm calling it the good, the bad, and the different. As I compare British to American bathrooms, I will group those comments into talking about what I think is better in Britain, what I think is worse in Britain, and what I think is just different, not better or worse.
Debbie's not caressing her sister's hair. I'm like, that's going to look weird, and people
Just
going to
trying
say
to keep
stuff.
my hair off the microphone.
Yeah.
They didn't train me well enough, I guess.
I'm like, there's going to be some comments that are going to be weird. Like, man, Debbie really loves her sister.
Trying to slip that in there, but
What?
just trying to do it covertly.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just saw that to the side of my eyes, and I'm like, that's going to look weird.
Worse. Feel free to share with me your opinions down in the comments. And as always, tell me what I've just totally got wrong in your opinion. The first way I'll point out in which British bathrooms are better than American bathrooms is really a big deal. It's something that a lot of YouTubers have talked about because it's kind of crazy. When you're in a public toilet in Britain, the bathroom stalls have some sense of privacy. The stalls are either completely enclosed rooms, or at least they're stalls where the doors fully shut and fully block out a view of the people inside the stall. They also tend to go
What's so funny? I think that's totally
I know.
awesome.
Don't you find it weird that ours don't do that?
Right.
And you can see and have a whole conversation with somebody. It's like, hey,
Right.
I like your. I like it when you're.
I was in a restaurant not too long ago. I don't remember which one it was, but I was like, wow, they actually have full doors on here.
Yeah, we have it. It's
with
a
no
rarity.
gap between the cracks.
It's actually nice when you find one like that.
Right.
We're
They're
very
just
voyeuristic.
not very common. It's almost like we're just too cheap here or something.
We're voyeuristic.
Like, I don't think it's that. I think the
you're
door...
wearing pink underwear.
Just very poor design.
Yeah, I know.
On our part.
It is a true point, though.
Round and taller. But in the U.S., we have these ridiculous doors
Yep,
very
there's that gap.
frequently that have massive
They're not
gaps
usually that big.
where you shut and lock
A
them.
lot of times.
But they
Which
are.
means that when you're walking through the restroom, you do not feel like you have any privacy. Honestly, these bathroom door gaps are just appalling.
They are.
The
Especially if
second
somebody's
thing that's
waiting.
better about British bathrooms when compared to the U.S. is the two-button flushing system. Now, this is not unique to the UK. All over Europe and probably other parts of the world have this two-button system. And there are even some newer toilets in the US.
Yes, ma'am.
I've seen more of this. I mean, haven't you? I mean, on the tops of the little toilets, there's like if you
I
went
don't
number
touch
one,
that crap in a public
hit this
bathroom.
one. If number two, you hit this one. And there's
I just
different-
karate kick the whatever thing. I don't touch it. My foot touches
Well,
it.
I try to use my foot myself,
It's
but
becoming more
there are
common.
some that are on, like in a home,
No, I've
they
not
would
seen
tend to be on the back of the toilet tank.
Whose friends do you have? Because ours don't have that kind of money.
US that have it as well. But it's definitely not common in household toilets in the US that you would have the two-button system. Two buttons means there's two flushes.
I've
a
never
little
seen that.
flush with a little bit of water and a bigger flush with more water. So it's a great way to conserve water, and for some reason, not something that's widely been adopted in the US so far.
Not yet.
Speaking of flushing, I have noticed that British toilets in general just do a better job of flushing. In the US, a lot of our toilets just aren't very good, which means they get clogged a lot, which means they often need to have plungers used on them. So in an American bathroom, you are more likely to see a plunger located near the toilet than what you see in Britain, which is toilet brushes. Pretty much every bathroom you go in Britain has a toilet brush next to the toilet. More later about why that's the case.
Yeah, I'm like, I ain't doing
But
that.
it is convenient to have a toilet brush located next to every toilet.
Look at that,
to
though.
keep it looking
Somebody
clean.
ain't
Yeah,
wrong.
it's
Another
nasty.
thing I like about British bathrooms is that often there are automatic fans attached with the light switches so that when you turn the light on, the
Interesting.
fan
Smart.
automatically always goes on with it. And in a country where homes have issues with damp and mold, like our flat, for example, it's really good to have that automatic fan that always turns on to keep moisture from accumulating and mold happening in the bathrooms.
Okay.
Towel rails are another thing I like about British bathrooms and pretty much never see in American ones.
Heated ones.
When getting out of the shower on a
would
cold
be
day,
nice.
there's nothing better than grabbing your towel off a nice heated towel rail.
Yeah,
And
I
it
don't have
also
that.
helps warm the room and dry your clothes as well.
Can we have one?
Multi-purpose. Another thing I have to say I like about some of the public restrooms I've been in Britain is they can have some pretty funny signs. Let me show you some examples.
Whoa.
First, I have to start with this public toilet from Scotland. It was set in a lovely area covered with pastures full of sheep
like a
and some
campground.
people camping by the lake and quite a
Gorgeous.
few motorcycle enthusiasts. We were glad to find a free toilet to use before our long drive.
Yeah,
back to
mostly you have to
Gloucester.
pay.
A free toilet.
Little did I
Yeah, I was just going to tell you. So most of the time over there, you have to pay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there would be so much reading involved in a visit to this restroom. First, there was a sign on the entrance telling you how grateful you should be to use these toilets and to leave the door shut to prevent animals nesting inside. Then there was a typical no smoking sign. But after that, it goes a bit over the top. There is a lengthy and emphatic sign about hovering and flushing with your feet.
Oh, no. I just got kicked out of Scotland's bathrooms.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to touch with my hands. It's disgusting. Because
Who's in there with you to know if you use your foot or your hand? Come on.
Scotland now knows. They're watching this video. They'll see me coming. Not her. She uses her feet.
I mean, I'd be curious to
It said
see
no hovering.
what the people in Britain really do if they use their hands or their feet, even if the sign is here.
Let us know in the
Yeah.
comments.
An emphatic sign about hovering and flushing with your feet. And then an even more emphatic and threatening sign explaining
don't
about
wanna
how
be here
and
when the
what to
pipes go.
flush. And then the same ideas are communicated in a carefully worded axiom and
Oh.
some pictures. Then, as we go to wash our hands, we are told how to do that as well. And finally, we have all the key points reiterated again in this lengthy verse. I shan't read the whole poem. You can pause the video if you'd like to do that.
We'll do that
But I
later.
will point out that in true Scottish form, you are urged to not leave the cleaning person in bad fettle, or you will be peeing over a nettle. This reminds me of the poem that the cleaning team from Hales Church posted near that door. Those were some of my favorite warning signs. Only in Britain, in the sign that tells you what to not put down the toilet.
Tea
Would they
bags.
Do you know what a nappy is?
I do not.
Could you figure it out? You're smart. She'll get it.
Diapers?
Very good.
Told you she's smart. She got it.
But who would even try to flush a diaper? I mean, come on. If everybody would just treat public restrooms as though they would treat their own,
own.
I mean, it's like.
If you take the word nappy out and just leave it there, you know that's in the UK. Why? Tea bags.
Exactly.
Not something anyone here is going to be worrying about getting flushed down a toilet.
No.
Tea bags. And first, even. Now let's talk about the ways in which I think British and American bathrooms are just different.
Okay, good.
If you watch the video I did early in January of 2020, I showed our flat in England and lots of things about the flat
We
that
need to
I
watch
think
that.
are examples of ways British and American homes are different. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the description below, so please check it out. But right now, I'm just going to focus on the bathroom things that I think are different.
The first thing that's different, of course, is what we call
The
this
toilet or
room.
the loo.
The loo.
Water
In a
closet.
house, it's generally the same. Bathroom is a bathroom. But for British people, it's only a bathroom if it has a bath, which is rather logical. And I think we both say ladies or gents, but otherwise, it all seems to be different. In a house, a room with a toilet and sink only would be called a powder room or a half bath
bath.
in the US. And in Britain, it would be called a cloak room, which is a very
What?
funny and confusing
Which sounds
term
like a coat
for
room.
Americans.
Right.
And I think there's also other names that Britons use for
Never heard- I didn't
powder
know that.
rooms. Remind me what the other ones are. In general, Americans say restroom, washroom. More slang terms would be potty, or rude terms would be john or head. In Britain, people say toilet most of the time, which is just not what we say in the US.
No.
No,
Also,
and why we don't say that, guys? He's going to say what I'm thinking.
It just sounds rude.
Doesn't it? It sounds
Like
kind of gross.
nasty.
Yeah.
I guess it makes you think too much about what actually happens in there.
Oh, thank you. That's perfect.
Because it makes you visualize what.
The actual
Yeah,
toilet.
right.
You just said what I've been thinking for 2 years, knowing that difference, and I couldn't figure that out in my head. But yeah, we don't say that because it's more of like what she just said.
you will find more archaic references to water closet, WC, conveniences, public conveniences, and more colloquially, loo, bog, and probably several more slang words I don't know yet. Feel free to tell me in the
Antisocial
comments, just please don't be too vulgar. Honestly, my favorite British term is the one from medieval castles, guard robe. Here's a question for you,
Okay.
Britons. Do you guys say going to see a man about a horse? And who calls it privy? Is it Brits or Americans?
Pretty.
I'm bilingual enough that sometimes
Privies.
I get confused because I
Brits, I
can't
believe.
remember which one's British or
It
American.
certainly isn't
I
here.
use that word.
Power outlets are a big deal. Of course, British bathrooms don't have power outlets for things like hair dryers in the bathroom because the electricity is at double the voltage and it's just dangerous. Whereas in the US, it's very common to have a hair dryer in a bathroom.
But more modern
so
homes
this can
have
be
that
good or it
shut off.
can be bad. In my home in Texas, for example, I don't have anywhere in my bedroom that I could dry my hair. So it's really very convenient in my huge bathroom next to the vanity to have an outlet to plug in my hair dryer. But of course, it's also dangerous
Oh, wait, let her finish that sentence.
because my hair dryer cord is always very close to the sink and even trails across the basin a lot of the time
that's
while I'm
not so
drying my
smart.
hair.
Okay, you want to make pause?
And even though we do have the electric in the bathroom, we have what's called a GFI connection. So it's a ground fault interrupter. So that if something were to get wet, it would trip and therefore not get electrocuted.
But that's on more modern homes.
Tis
My
true,
house
you have
doesn't
to
have
update
them.
your electric
But
for
if you
that.
look at that picture,
Yours should have it, though. We should update that for
but if you look at that picture, that hair dryer, that plug has
It
the
has
same
that
thing.
It has it
So
built into the plug.
those
Yeah.
little buttons on there.
Yes. It seems like you
But-
have to have a whole separate room to do your hair then, because you can't do it in the bathroom.
This is fascinating. I
It
thought
is.
there were some outlets in there. So at first I'm like, yeah, I know that they.
Yeah, you would think there would be
But I-
something, but we're so used to having them.
I thought they
but-
had to be a certain distance away from things. I was wrong.
No, understandable. The electric's so much higher.
This is a cool video.
I'm sure this looks pretty dangerous to
No.
British people watching this video.
probably
Let
freaking
me
me out,
know
isn't
if
it?
you find this
Looks
alarming.
dangerous to me.
Another thing that's just different is light switches. In the UK, you're going to find your light switch on the outside of the room or a pull cord inside the room. More about that later. Whereas in the US, pretty much all the time, the light switch is going to be on the wall as you enter the bathroom.
Yep.
I don't think one way is better than the other. It's just different.
That is different.
Now for a little British innovation I encountered that I have not seen in the US. We were visiting a garden and I found this little restroom that had the sink located
And
on
a fly.
top of the toilet tank.
What?
It was the strangest thing.
That's
But
interesting.
I don't like
honestly,
that.
kind of innovative.
Don't like it.
Or innovative, if you prefer. And admittedly, rather space saving.
Interesting.
Another
but-
thing that you see
It'd work
more
in my downstairs
often
bathroom.
in Britain than in the US are vintage loos. You can certainly find an occasional old-fashioned toilet in the US, but they are definitely
I've
more
never
common
seen one
in
of those in
Britain.
person.
No.
Here I'm showing one that we saw in Scotland, which was actually a new renovation made to look like a vintage toilet. And then
Kinda
another one that we saw in Wales that actually was just a very old toilet.
It's cool
And
looking.
lastly, from Northumberland, this was Chillingham Castle, which if you watch that
Oh, wow.
video, and by the way, you really should, because that castle video from Northumberland was amazing. I'll link in the description. You may recall from that video that Chillingham has a Victorian toilet that
Wait,
was
what?
quite curious indeed. Now, for
I wanna go see
American
it.
innovations, I haven't seen anything like this in Britain. But in the Dallas airport, they have a couple cool things. One is before you even enter the restroom, you can tell how many stalls are
That's kinda
available
neat.
inside. And if they're all occupied, where to get to the nearest restroom. Once you're inside the
2-minute
restroom,
walk, or you can wait
there
till
are
that somebody
lights
gets
on
there.
the ceiling to tell you which stalls are vacant or
That's
occupied
cool.
at a glance. Isn't that clever?
That's
So you're not
Certainly
having to
better
look
than
under the
peeking
door.
through all those door gaps.
But then,
Now it's time
no,
to
then I'll
talk
be sad. I can't walk by and be like, yep, taken.
Well, then you
I'm
need-
usually trying to look under the door.
That's actually what I do. No, I had a little kid one time. There was like a bunch of people waiting, you know, I'm in the bathroom and the little kid's like doing this, like, I'm like, oh
when
God.
they start talking to you, what you doing? Honey?
Yeah,
You're pretty.
exactly.
About the bad, the
Ooh.
ways in which I think British bathrooms are worse than American bathrooms.
Oh, this will be interesting.
One thing I'm not a fan of about British bathrooms, including some bathrooms I've seen in new homes,
That's
is
not a sink.
impossibly small sinks. They're like the size of lavatory sinks on a train or a plane. It's very difficult
Is that
to
common?
use them and wash your hands without getting water everywhere.
It's like from
Speaking
IKEA
of
or
getting
something.
water everywhere, shower doors or walls is one thing that I've been obsessing about in my visits to Britain for the past 30 years.
Having shower curtains is very typical in
Don't.
the US, but it's not something I have seen many times in the UK.
Oh, really?
You can tell that I'm
That's
in a
interesting.
UK bathroom because of the towel rail on the wall here. This is the hotel we stayed at in Wales,
Okay, interesting.
Marriott St. Pierre in Chepstow. And they have a shower curtain, just like we'd see in the States. If you are British, do you have a shower curtain in your bathroom? Have you seen shower curtains many times?
Let us know.
Is one of the many things I've been wrong about on YouTube? Please let me know.
These little halvesy doors just
What?
do not work for me. I remember
is
the
that?
first
I
time I
don't
took a
know.
shower in a
Oh.
bathtub that had a partition like this.
Oh, that's interesting.
I got water everywhere. I just washed my hair the way I normally do, but I'm a relatively tall person.
Me too.
And I've got long hair that takes a lot of effort to wash. And I had nearly flooded the bathroom by the time I finished with that shower. Ever
That's
since
different.
then, I've tried all the techniques of pointing the shower head toward the wall, standing in the corner, trying not to move my arms very much. But honestly, it's just ridiculous. Why can't we have a full shower door or a shower curtain
So,
or
okay.
something that keeps the water?
The one that she's showing right here is the one it's becoming more popular here in the
This?
United States. Yeah.
That's only a half.
Yes.
Right.
It's becoming more popular to just have half a wall of glass there. That way, it's supposedly you're not splashing everywhere. But I've always wondered how the water didn't just escape out the other side too. So
Right.
I'm agreeing with her. Give me a full door.
Yeah.
Full
Well,
wall
I've
of
seen
glass.
those because I've been looking at bathroom
Well,
remodeling
you know
ideas.
I'm going to end up remodeling it for you.
And maybe, but I have seen more of these that I'm like, huh, that's an interesting idea. Not the full door, not the shower curtain.
I like the
Yeah.
But
rack
at
in the
least
back.
if it goes halfway or more, you would think it would be fine.
You would think.
And
but
this
I don't
one
know.
has the handheld, so I don't know.
Trust me, ours is full glass and I still get water everywhere. So I can prove it all wrong. Just let me shower in your bathroom. Okay.
In if you're doing the shower above the tub situation of showering. Speaking about showers over tubs, the other weird shower thing is the number of bathrooms in Britain that just have a handheld shower with the tub, and it's not a stand-up shower.
Those are cool,
and
though.
there are no stand-up showers in the room. This
Clawfoot.
is not something you would really see in the States. So tell me, Britons, do a lot of people shower sitting down in the tub? This is just a relatively
You're an
foreign
oddball, though.
idea
No,
to us
just
Americans.
pause it. So,
Speaking of things
See, this is why they
No.
both sit over there. I have to sit here. They make me hit buttons.
sorry, when I first bought my house, again, it was built in the late 1800s. We didn't even have a shower in our house. It
Yeah.
only had a bathtub.
I've always lived in newer
Exactly.
homes. The oldest house I lived in is this one. And the one before that was the one I grew up with my parents. That was built in 78. This house was built in 51. So this to me is old.
Right. And my house was built in like
And you're all laughing at me now.
1896 or something.
They're
like
laughing at
that.
both
And
of us,
theirs was
especially
built in
me.
16 something.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you gotta speak.
Electric showers. That doesn't sound like it goes together.
Yeah.
that are odd to Americans. Electric showers. This is a very odd concept to us Americans.
It is.
The first time I saw this when visiting Ian's family 30 years ago,
That's a
I
shower.
remember saying to
That's a
him,
shower?
"What is that thing on the wall
What
in
is
the
that?
shower?" Now, the idea of having hot water quickly is nice. That part is better
I
than
don't get it.
a lot of American showers.
Heats the water.
And the idea of controlling the temperature very easily is also
Why?
nice. But the
Where's the water
fact that the water pressure on these units is absolutely abysmal,
Ooh.
I've got a problem with. They often just kind of spit water on you. And so I find it really hard to shampoo my hair and rinse it properly.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
Please tell me your thoughts on electric showers.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Yeah.
Did you guys
same.
know that existed?
No.
Not to that capacity, no. I know
How
that
common is that?
some of our hot water heaters are changing into this. Save space and stuff. You can get like a compact one that goes in
You
for your
can.
whole house.
How do you
Just
know all
a
of
shower.
this?
Because she's smart
I
like
watch a lot of
that.
I know. It just makes me feel so stupid.
But you would have hot water instantly, like this. But here, it's not just for a shower in this situation, like she's showing in this situation.
Interesting.
Another thing that I referenced earlier is pull
Yeah, what's up with
cords
this?
for light switches. I know this is not as common these days, but there are
No.
still lots of older British homes that have a pull cord string
Really?
to turn the light on in the bathroom.
Really?
According to an electrician who worked on our flat in England, I understand that these are actually not necessary anymore, but I still see them all the time in people's
Really?
homes. And we have one in our own hall bath in Cheltenham. I don't like them because the string gets dirty, the string breaks, and sometimes they're hard for shorter people to reach.
We have those in the closet, like this old closet.
Some closet.
I
Yeah.
have one in my closet.
Closet.
Yeah.
Because
In
the
my old
light's
house.
all the way up there and no one's going to bother to put a light switch in a
But
closet.
what it is, it's saving having to run the wiring. And
Right.
especially with those older homes,
Interesting.
you're not having to run the wiring to the light switch.
Interesting.
So
or is it
it's
a more of a
directly to
voltage
the-
safety thing too without
Could
having
be,
the electrical
yeah.
And
outlets?
there's voltage because they will put their switch outside the bathroom, like we've already learned. Their switches are on the outside.
Interesting. This is fascinating.
Another thing that seems like a disadvantage to me is toilet tanks being inside the walls.
What?
As I referenced earlier, American toilets often have flushing problems.
I'm confused.
If it's not a clog that has to be plunged, it's frequently a problem with flushing apparatus inside the toilet tank.
True.
Gotta
It's
change
pretty
that
easy to
thing.
remove the lid on the top of the tank and
Ball
adjust
cock.
the levers inside. But on a British toilet where the tank is buried inside the wall,
That's
I
true.
have no
I've
idea
seen
what
that.
you do. I'm just
What do you
dreading
do?
the day I have to find out in our flat in England.
Yeah, that
What do you do? Oh, wise ones?
I don't know because
Don't know.
I've had to replace some
Because the
mine.
tank's inside the wall. I guess you got to get somebody to get in the wall, or maybe there's an access point so that you can get in the wall without destroying the wall.
I need to know this.
Maybe on the other side of that wall.
I need to
I
know
don't know.
this.
So
I don't
do tell
know.
in the comments. Let us know.
Are there any
Inform us.
plumbers watching that might know?
There might be. If you're a plumber, please start this video comment off with, I'm a plumber, in all caps. That was subtle.
So tell me, British people, is this a problem? Or am I just paranoid?
I'm paranoid
Most
too.
British toilets have very low
We've heard
water
about this.
levels. And that low water level makes for messier toilet bowls. I don't
Yeah.
want to get into a graphic discussion of poop on my family-friendly YouTube channel, but let's just say a higher water level keeps the toilet bowl tidier.
So many people criticize America because we have so much water. They do. In our toilets. And my first thought was when I first saw pictures of how low it is there, I'm like, ew.
Right, yeah.
Like, we want more water so it doesn't have poo all over it.
Well, I think she foreshadowed in the beginning to something that she's going to talk about now.
Yeah, you're right. I was just
Yeah.
thinking it when you said it. That's probably why there's the brushes,
So
like she
let-
showed.
Oh, yeah,
And-
probably.
We don't have to deal with that.
Without having to use those bog brushes that are sitting next to the toilets in all those British homes. And finally, I'm talking
That just
about
looks cool, though.
the thing that most Americans complain about in reference to British bathrooms.
Oh.
I have to admit, I hate separate taps. And before I get 97 irate comments telling me to stop being an American idiot and just put the plug in the sink and mix the hot and cold water in the basin,
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, God, people do that? I'm sorry.
They
for
then you
offending.
got hot, cold.
They mean, is she
and
really
then-
saying that people actually put that in there and then wash their hands in the sink water?
Maybe.
Apparently, yes.
I mean, I'm grossed out because of a lot of reasons. One, I brush my teeth in a sink, right? I'm not saying you do that in a public
Right.
bathroom or whatever, and you spit that stuff out, right? I don't want to fill it up with water, then wash my hands in people's saliva.
Yeah.
So, and people in public bathrooms spit and stuff all the time.
Yeah, public bathroom, no way.
But call us snobs.
No, but the whole separate thing, yeah, I'm not. No, okay, sorry. I'm so sorry if I offended anybody. That was just a genuine response of icky.
We're honest.
Yeah, if you don't know that by now.
let me just say, no, I'm not
She-
doing it.
Thank you.
In some nasty public restroom, I am not mixing up a bunch of soapy water in a dirty sink to
Thank
wash
you,
my
Dara.
hands. I'd rather freeze my hands off in the icy water or scald my
I
skin
would too.
in the boiling water.
I agree.
And don't get me started on washing my face. When I have soap suds all over my eyes that are tightly shut, I am not fiddling with soapy water in a sink basin. I would like to have clear water to thoroughly rinse my face.
Yep.
So I just think the separate tap thing is an issue.
So when you have two taps like this and you're washing your hands, what you have to do,
No,
it's
hurry.
it's nice when the two taps are kind of close together like this, because then you can do the shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Ice cold water, boiling hot water, ice cold water.
We gotta look like some crazy people if we're on vacation. You come there like, you see this? Like, oh, American. I would just be like, hi, American. Hi. I'm sorry, I gotta get my hands back in there hot. Oh, it's cold and hot.
And do it fast enough. They're kind of mixed together.
I love her.
Thanks for watching this silly video. Please give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you're so inclined.
Thumbs up.
And let me hear from you in the comments.
I really hope I didn't offend anybody with that last thing, but
Well, same. Well, I think people just get you know what you know.
You're
You
used to what
grew
you're
up
used to.
with what you grew up with, so there's no real right or wrong.
No.
It's just what you're accustomed to.
well, Debbie will tell you, and you may know this about me. I don't know if you do. She's gonna laugh. I have severe germophobia,
She does.
and I'm very weird about touching things, and
You're weird
Especially-
about a lot of stuff.
Especially public things. It's the probably not knowing so much information about public restrooms.
well,
because
go ahead and say it.
she avoids them as much as
Yeah.
she can.
What'd you guys think though? Like there was a lot in here that she really did put time in this, and I appreciate her. Again, please go to her channel and subscribe, guys, and give her some love because Dara's awesome, and that was really well done.
I think it was a wonderful video. I think she has covered everything there possibly could be to show the differences between American and British bathrooms.
Yeah, that we know about. But yeah, I learned a lot of stuff from that. So, and it was entertaining. It was fun.
I know.
Mhm.
I didn't know that they had such, what sort of
High-
strong currents
high
or
voltage.
more
Yeah.
voltage or whatever.
Well, I am an idiot. This whole time, people have always said the separate taps, but I thought I had that different in my head.
Mm.
I thought it
Right.
was one faucet with just hot cold.
Mm.
And I'd even showed that on Facebook Live, and nobody corrected me on this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there were actually two separate
Faucets.
faucets, as we would say. You say tap.
Right.
When you say tap, I guess I've always thought of the, what do we call
Right.
that?
The handles.
Knobs, the handle,
Handles,
I don't
knobs,
know. The things you turn the
I
water
got that
on and off
wrong.
with.
I had that wrong. So that was actually, I was sitting here trying to not look like an idiot going, oh.
Huh.
If you guys liked today's episode, please give us a like and consider subscribing to the channel. We always appreciate you. And thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being here. We appreciate you,
You're
man.
very welcome. Thank you for asking me.
I feel like we
need
should
more
always be
thumbs
like-
up when I'm here so
That's
that
right.
they can see my value. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
She'll take personal offense to it. She will look too and be like, you only got this many likes, so I'm not coming back on.
Actually, you said the last time I was here, I got lots of them.
You did. Let us know some things in the comments we may have gotten wrong on our end with our thoughts here. And we'll see you on the next episode. Until then, as always, please love, like, jazz.
Be as strong as
See you guys.
Tyson.
Bye.
Bye there.